Welcome back, everybody, to another Reldrick Geo reaction video. Today, we're going to be reacting to another Think School video, and we're going to be reacting to this Decoding BJP Manifesto one. Specifically, what is BJP promising in 2024 elections? BJP Manifesto explained in detail. Now, from what I have heard and what I have seen, Think School tends to be a little bit more unbiased. So I want to know a little bit more about the going-ons of the political spectrum over in India, because as some of you are aware, hopefully all of you are aware, there is the election going on until June. So just a couple more weeks to go. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch this one.
तीसरे टर्म में दुनिया की पहली 3 इकोनॉमीज में एक नाम भारत का होगा.
It's election season in India.
The country routinely holds the largest democratic exercise on earth.
India's blockbuster Prime Minister is gearing up for another election.
आपके सपनों को पूरा करने के लिए मेरा पल पल आपके नाम. ये चुनाव वोट वाला चुनाव नहीं है. ये चुनाव हिंदुस्तान को बचाने वाला चुनाव है.
On 14th of April 2024, the BJP released their manifesto and Congress launched their own manifesto calling it the Nyaya Patra.
The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party released its much-awaited manifesto for the Lok Sabha elections this weekend.
144 करोड़ देशवासियों के सपनों को हकीकत में बुनने के लिए हम ये संकल्प पत्र लेकर के आए हैं.
The Congress party has released its manifesto. They're calling it Nyaya Patra.
ये मैनिफेस्टो हिंदुस्तान की जनता ने बनाया है.
Now this is basically a list of promises and policies that BJP and Congress both want to bring in if they win the elections. So these documents literally hold the key to the future of India, and the BJP is calling it the Modi Ki Guarantee.
हमारे सामने
I mean, the name works. I like the name.
अगले 25 साल का लक्ष्य है. हम भारत को विकसित भारत बनाने वाले हैं. और ये मोदी की गारंटी है.
So as voters,
Okay. He's even got like his own little saying and a little flavor to when he says it.
it is absolutely important for every single citizen to understand every line of this manifesto, and this is not just applicable for the BJP but also for the Congress manifesto. And more importantly, as investors and entrepreneurs, this document is a blueprint of both your threats and opportunities in the market. So based on this document, the stock markets will go up and down, the economy of India will grow or fall, and most importantly, this document will affect every single person in the country in the next 5 years. But as usual, the mainstream media is busy doing you know what. So we spend
The mainstream media. I just want to say, but if the mainstream media over here in the U.S., if it's anything like that, I can wholly understand that the mainstream media is just frustration, man. Absolute frustration. It's better to get, a quicker and a better insight on things from YouTubers and other social media stuff. As long as you can, piece out the major biases or the false information, the fake news. It's all the fake news. Don't look at the fake news. Anyways.
the last 2 weeks to read every single line in this manifesto, and we try to understand the large-scale impact of every single policy promise of the BJP, and we also skim through hundreds of pages of research and analysis about the impact of the BJP manifesto on India. And that's when we found this equity research report by Philip Capital, and we picked the most important policies that could change the life of the people of India. So from housing to automobiles to banks to even consumer products, this document is a deep dive into one of the most crucial events in the history of modern India. So in this chaos of power and propaganda, let's cut through the chase and understand what are the major promises that BJP has made in their manifesto, which are the companies and sectors that will benefit if the manifesto promises come true, what are the most important governance policies that will affect the life of our citizens, and most importantly, how can you find a golden opportunity if you wish to start a business in India from 2024 to 2029 if BJP comes to power.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. they flashed that first disclaimer real fast.
BJP comes to power.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker and do not reflect the views or positions of any entity. The case study notes are prepared purely for educational and informational purposes. The cases are not contended to serve as an endorsement source of primary data or to show effect or ineffect of handling or decision or business processes. Viewers are advised to exercise their own discretion and judgment when interpreting and using the information presented. The content of this video is not intended to substitute professional advice or guidance. The content presented in this video is intended for informational purposes only. The creator, producer, or distributors of this content want to make it clear that no copyright or intellectual property infringement is intended. All materials used in this video have been sourced from publicly available information, open access platforms, or are used under the fair use doctrine for commentary, criticism, reporting, and educational purposes. We have made efforts to give proper credit to the original creators or copyright holders whenever possible. I am not registered with SEBI. The content shared in this video is for educational purposes only and is intended to provide a general overview of the topics discussed. It should not be considered financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. You always got to say that, right? The mention of any publicly listed company or potential beneficiaries is illustrative and not an endorsement or investment. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you get it, right? Like, he has to say all this. Otherwise, like, I don't know, somebody could go after him for something, right?
But before we move on, I would like to introduce our
Ad
knowledge
time.
partners of today's episode, which is Odoo.
Odoo
is the ultimate all-in-one management software, which is designed to make life easier for entrepreneurs like you and me by supporting
I'm an
them in the
entrepreneur?
day-to-day management of business tasks like accounting, invoicing,
I mean, technically,
website creation, sales,
kinda
and
am.
inventory. Let's talk about one of Odoo's standout features, which is the project
Not in
management
India, of
application.
course.
As you know, project management is not an easy task at all. One delay and you start to build a huge backlog of work. But Odoo's project has a detailed dashboard, mainly the Kanban views and the Gantt chart views, so that you can easily track the progress, deadlines, budgets, and resources in real time. You can create multiple tasks, schedule meetings and calls, and even send emails to the clients, all from the project app itself. Cherry on the cake is that with Odoo, you can track the time spent by employees on each task with the help of the timesheet to evaluate their performance and have centralized information all in one place for great efficiency. The first application of Odoo is completely free for life, so you do not have to pay for your project management app at all. And you also get unlimited free hosting and support. So
Interesting.
if this sounds useful to you, get started with Odoo today and experience the power of streamlined business management by using the link in the description.
I like to let their ads play out whenever I'm reacting to a
Let's
video.
start by understanding what is the methodology of Phillip Capital to understand which companies or stocks need to be observed during a political event like elections. Now, while most people only see promises and politics in this manifesto,
Do you have to be a citizen of India to invest in stocks in India? I mean, I don't. I had some stocks back in the day. I don't right now, but you know, I am interested. I know he's not a financial advisor or anything, but
the
maybe
investors
this could
and
help.
entrepreneurs see business and market opportunity. And there are 5 steps to decoding this opportunity. Step number 1, find out what exactly is the government intending to build, consume, or promote. Step number 2, in order to build, consume, or promote that particular product or service, what exactly is the value chain that will make it possible? Step number 3, which materials or services will be used in the value chain? And the last step is to figure out which companies produce these products and services in order to bring the vision of the government to reality. And here's where you will find both a gap in the market to invest and a gap in the market to build a business. If this is very clear to you, let's understand this using a case study. One of the biggest policies of the Modi government under infrastructure is PM Awas Yojana.
ये प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना ये उन दीवारों को खड़ी करने के लिए नहीं है जो किसी को जगह दे देंगे, वो उन सपनों को जान भरने का एक बहुत बड़ा कार्यक्रम है। 2022 तक 5 करोड़ घर बनाने।
The PM Awas Yojana was launched in 2016, whereby the government promised to provide 2.95 crore eligible rural households with Pakka houses plus basic amenities by March 2024. Now, most people might say, Bhai, what am I going to do if Modi ji is promising houses for the poor? How is that affecting my life? Well, guess what? When the government spends thousands of crores into building houses, what will they require? They will require a ton of steel and a ton of cement. For instance, If you consider a 200 square feet house, it requires approximately 25 kg cement per square foot. That is 5,000 kgs of cement per house, which is 5 tons of cement per house. So if the government plans to build around 30 million affordable houses, this translates to a staggering demand of 150 million tons of cement just from housing projects. So it's a demand for 30 million tons per year. So a logical conclusion by Philip report is that if there is a 30 million ton demand per annum, there will be a 7 to 8% growth in the cement demand in India over the next 5 years in only affordable housing. And who will benefit from all this demand? Well, the biggest cement companies at this moment.
Abuja cement. I see it everywhere. I see Abuja cement. Literally, whenever I do Geoguessr in India, there's Abuja cement signs everywhere. I don't even know if that's the correct way of saying the name. But Abuja cement and the JK cement is what the two I see the most. But they're probably not even like the biggest companies.
Are Ultratech, Ambuja, and ACC.
Ambuja. Excuse me. Okay. Listen, I love Ambuja's cement's design. This is not an endorsement. This is not, like a sponsorship deal. But their design, it just feels so Soviet. And it's so cool. It feels so retro. I love it. I absolutely love the design. Because you see the advertisements, right? It's just the big buff, the big buff dude. And I just like it. It's really cool.
And
Anyways.
all of these three companies together, they control 63% of the entire market. Also guys,
Wow.
even though we are taking the names of these public listed companies, none of what we are saying is investment advice. We are stating public listed companies because it is mentioned in the Phillip Capital report. And all the documents of these public listed companies can be used to study the industry in a much better way as compared to private limited companies. So this content is meant for education purpose only. So use the names of these public listed companies to go fetch their documents and understand their industry better, and do not consider any of what I'm saying as investment advice. If this is clear, let's keep moving. Similarly, when it comes to national highways, the government is making 28 kilometers of highways per day. That is 10,220 kilometers per year, and in 5 years it will be 51,100 kilometers. Now, if you look at the math behind how much cement is required to build 51,000 kilometers of highways, it is absolutely mind-boggling. For each 7-meter wide road, we require about 1,000 tons of cement per kilometer. So, assuming we are building only 2-lane highways, over a 5-year period, the cement consumption in India at 28 kilometers per day will be 51 million tons only for national highways. And this number of 51 million does not include rural roads, does not include buildings or anything else. And according to Infomerex, India's cement consumption was expected to be around 373 million tons per year as of 2023. Now, the reason why this is a very big deal, because if you look at the production capacity of Adani Cement, which includes Ambuja, ACC and other companies, it is 77.4 million tons per annum. And Ultratech's capacity is 146 million tons. So all these three companies together, which control 63% of the market, they have a capacity of 223.4 million tons. So do you realize, as India consumes more and more cement, not just these top 3 players, but all other players in the market will benefit from this demand.
Oh, yeah.
And the companies that have scale will be able to sell directly to the government and make profits with volumes.
I do just want to pause this and say I was expecting more of a deep dive into the manifesto, into the Modi guarantee. I mean, it's fine that he's talking about, these are the companies, like if Modi gets what he wants here, these are the companies that, to look at, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But hopefully we get a bit more of a deep dive into it. It does look like we do. I just wanted to point that out. That's what I was expecting to maybe get a little bit more of descriptive detail of the actual manifesto, but that's okay.
Not so surprisingly, while India built 25 million houses and 50,000 kilometers of highways, the cement stocks of India have been reaching new heights.
Yeah.
Most of the cement stock.
I actually know, some of this. I worked as a office manager for a construction company for a little while. And, we focused a lot on like road works and, building like foundational stuff for like certain houses and things, certain companies and businesses. But so yeah, I mean, this is all stuff that I know, and it's interesting. It really is. And yeah, if he is planning on increasing the amount of houses built for the poor, I guess was what he said. Like one of his things was he's increasing the housing for poor. Then no, yeah, construction has already been huge in India anyways, because it's a growing country. So as the population rises, as the growth of the actual economy goes up and higher, you're gonna of course be building up infrastructure. And yeah, this is all going to be rising for who knows how long, for the next century at the very least, right? You're not going to get a plateau, a stagnation, or anything.
are on the move, and just as we speak, some of them at the high point of trade as well.
Cement should do very well. The government spending on both commercial and real estate and developing a lot of the infrastructure is going to see cement companies do well.
This is how you draw a relationship between what exactly is the vision of the government from the manifesto to understanding how does it directly affect the business ecosystem of India. If this is very, very clear to you, let's look at steel. According to the government sources, around 13.17 million tons of steel is required for the sanctioned houses. And with revamping of 1,200 plus railway stations, launch of bullet trains and airports, and most importantly, with the expansion of
yeah, that is one thing. India is making their own bullet trains now. That's pretty cool. I wish the US focused more on trains. I really do.
Gas connections to households, India's steel demand due to government projects itself
is it JK Steel and not JK Cement? Maybe I got that company confused.
This demand is projected to reach 190 million metric tons by FY30. And in the best case scenario, this number can also reach 230 million metric tons. But you know what, guys? In the recent times, that is as latest as FY23, India's production capacity was expected to touch just 135 million metric tons. So do you realize what this means? Even if all of our steel companies operate at full capacity, we will not be able to cater to our consumption.
Yeah.
So this means every major steel company is going to see massive growth both in business and capacity. And according
more
to
jobs
Capital,
too.
Here's where we have companies like APL Apollo, JTL Steel, Surya Steel and High-Tech Steel. On top of this, I would also like to include another entity which is Tata Steel. So long story short, both cement and steel companies will see a huge growth in their values solely based on this manifesto and the vision that BJP has for India. And you know what, guys? The story doesn't end here. Because along with Pakka houses, the BJP also aims to provide water, LPG and electricity connections from other schemes to these people who get Pakka houses. Because the house alone is worthless, right? So we looked at what kind of pipes are laid to connect these houses to different units in the country. And these pipes are ductile iron pipes, HSAW pipes or helical submerged arc wielding pipes. And lastly, plastic pipes are expected to be used in this process. These pipes are used for a variety of purposes from water supply to plumbing to gas distribution to even transfer of telecommunication cables. And which companies are expected to benefit from this cable demand? These companies are Jindal Saw, Welspun Corp, Electro Steel Casting, High-Tech Pipes, Jindal Tubular, Surya Roshni and APL Apollo. Similarly, if we look solely at the expansion of natural gas connections, we will see the spike of something called ERW or Electric Resistance Wielded Construction Pipes. And who's making these pipes? Here's where again we have companies like Welspun Corp, Maharashtra Seamless and Ratnamani Metals. And finally, according to Philip Capital, a rise in the air traffic will see a positive impact on the credit card sector. Now here's where I have a homework for you. You tell me in the comments
what's the thing that is used in India? UPI? Is that what it is? UPI?
Have more airports in the country, then what exactly are the products and services that will see a rise in demand? Think about it and let me know in the comments, and whichever answer I find most interesting, I will put out a special community post for it. This is how you draw a direct correlation between the vision of the party in the manifesto to the growth of certain industries in the country. And guys, since we have made separate case studies on each of these policies, we'll quickly glance over them in this video and I'll give you a link to the dedicated case study in the description so that you can understand both the pros and cons of the policy. So if this is clear to you, let's quickly glance over the most important policies that we found in the BJP manifesto.
Perfect. Here we go. Getting into it,
The
man.
first policy is Make in India, and even
Make
though Make
in
in India
India.
has not been as successful as envisioned, this time again, the BJP promises to go bullish on semiconductors, chip manufacturing, electric and solar industry.
All highly important stuff. Most countries should strive for this, right? Actually making the product in-house, making the product in your own country. Yes, exporting, importing, things like that is incredibly important to the world economy as well. But to be not so reliant on countries you have conflicts with, it's important to kind of have a lot of these things in house. And unfortunately, right now, a lot of the things like the chip manufacturing, that's really really big in places like China and Taiwan, right? So yeah, you want to make these in house.
And the video links to all of these case studies are in the description. Secondly, for pharmacy, the BJP wants to extend something called Research Linked Incentive Program, and they want to turn India into the pharmacy of the world. Now, we will not know much about this policy until we read the consultation paper. So, after the consultation paper comes out, I will make a dedicated video on this. But as of now, on the outset, it looks like the beneficiaries of these schemes will be companies like Divi's, Syngene, Suven Pharma, and Ami Organic. Similarly, BJP is planning to expand its fleet of PM e-bus to provide affordable transport to citizens. And the best e-bus players who could benefit are Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, JBM Auto, and Olectra Green Tech.
Tata is everywhere. Tata is all around the world, right? Tata is a huge company. They do a bunch of products, and a lot. I mean, I've seen some of their products in stores in the U.S. as well. E-bus is just electronic bus, right? It's an electric bus. Excuse me. Is it just an electric bus?
And lastly, BJP is extremely bullish to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, and this is something that we've seen Mr. Gadkari say time and again. So the three most important sectors that will help the government in the pursuit of this vision are solar, hydrogen and ethanol. So if you look at solar, who will benefit from this? It's not only the solar panel companies, but also the solar glass manufacturers, the ingot manufacturers, the wafer manufacturers and silicon manufacturers. And again, the case study for this entire industry is in the description. Then we come to ethanol. The BJP aims to bring in 20% blend of ethanol in petrol. So if you look at how much ethanol is needed to substitute 20% of our petrol consumption, it is about 10 billion liters. Now, where does this ethanol come from?
Wow.
Ethanol comes from sugar, rice, wheat and corn. Corn is produced at scale in the US and not in
I was going to say corn is the main source of ethanol here in the US.
India, whereas rice and wheat are needed for food distribution. So we are left with only sugar. And the good news over here is that every year India has millions of tons of sugar in surplus. So now this $10 billion ethanol demand is a huge boost to our sugar companies. And this could also be the reason why sugar stocks of India have been doing insanely well in the past few years.
I didn't even think about that.
I have attached a detailed video about the vision of the government about ethanol in the description. So you can have a look at that case study and understand the vision of the government about ethanol better. If this is very, very clear to you, let's come to the second part of the episode, which is the governance and social measures.
Here we go.
And here's where there is a thin line between governance and vote bank politics. If you look at the previous election manifesto, we saw the abrogation of Article 370, the construction of Ram Mandir and Citizenship Amendment Act, all of which defined the political landscape of India. And as we all saw, every time these promises were fulfilled, the entire nation was either buzzing with excitement or anxiety.
जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख में एक नए युग की शुरुआत हुई।
जैसे ये 370 खत्म हुई, हमें 70 साल के बाद समझो आज हम जम्मू कश्मीर वाले आज़ाद हुए।
आज बहुत ही खुशी का दिन है। आज के दिन को जो है राष्ट्रीय पर्व मनाना चाहिए।
प्रभु राम के बारे में जो संकल्प आपके सामने लिया था, हमने कहा था ना, रामलला हम आएंगे, मंदिर वही बनाएंगे।
So the question is,
I can't understand a lot of the words being said, but I'm slowly starting to pick up a few, right? Like the whole goal of me learning and doing these reactions and is to learn more about the culture, about the continent, about the geography, about the history, about the political sphere as well. And of course I want to try to learn a lot of the languages as well. I can like pinpoint and differentiate like written I can't read any of the written languages, but I can differentiate between basically all of them at this point. But yeah, when it comes to actually like hearing it, it's going to take a lot longer.
What exactly are the most important promises in the manifesto in 2024? Well, the first promise that we found very crucial is about the extension of something called Real Estate Regulation Act. Now, this might sound complex, so let's understand this using a story. Before RERA was implemented, here's what used to happen. Let's consider a residential project called Sunrise Apartments. This project was supposed to consist of 200 units with a promised delivery date of 2018. Now, let's say the project's total cost was estimated at 100 crore rupees. And earlier what used to happen was that home buyers made advance payments which contributed to 70% of the total project cost, which is 70 crore rupees. And
this sounds like what China does.
This payment was made in 2016 itself, and the builder is to tell them that they will get possession in 2018.
This actually was just to go back on the China thing. This was a huge issue in China because there was, I forget, the ever something. I can't remember the company name right now, but they were taking money from buyers of these units, these apartment units, and they were promising to build these giant towers all over the place, and they used those investments to invest into other things, and they ended up being where they didn't have the money to actually finish a lot of the units, and then the buildings that they did finish, they were the corners were cut, they were like basically styrofoam and falling apart. It was a huge controversy for this past year. I need to look into it. The name again. I can't remember it, and I know now. I'm just Anyways.
Now, what these builders used to do was that they used to delay this project and they used to keep on postponing the possession date. And why did they do that? Because the builder could divert this 70 crore rupees fund to other projects. For example,
this is exactly what I was just talking about that was happening in China.
The Sunrise builder, he diverted 70 crore rupees to a new luxury project which could give him more profits. So the builder's theory was that if they completed the luxury project quickly and made 120 crores out of that project, they can then use that 120 crores to come back to Sunrise project with ease and complete it.
That's exactly what happened to like this major building company in China, and they had gone bankrupt. Actually, I'm just gonna look up and see what that is really quick. Here it is. This is what it was. It was the Evergrande company. They were doing exactly that, and it completely ruined China's property market economy because of what they were doing.
And since nobody was there to monitor them, they could simply tell the residents that their project was delayed. So this way, the builders used to use the existing customers' money as working capital to fund new projects and then make more money out of them. And sadly, back then, the buyers had no option but to wait for the builders or go and file a case and then suffer through the process. And eventually, the buyers suffered a big setback because they had to pay both the home EMI and the rent of their existing houses.
Wow.
But this is where RERA came in. RERA changed all of this. How? Firstly, under RERA, 70% of the funds collected from the buyers, in this case 49 crore rupees, must be deposited in a new escrow account. And these funds can only be used for the construction of the project.
See, this is good.
Other project. On
That's
top of this,
good.
the money can only be withdrawn of the project and no other project. On top of this, the money can only be withdrawn after the architect gave them a certification of completion for each stage. For example, now these are not exact numbers, but I'm just stating so that you can understand. Only after 25% of the completion of the project can the first 6 crores be withdrawn from the account. Secondly, if the builder doesn't give possession by 2018, which is the committed date of completion, then the builders are required to pay an interest rate on the amount paid by the buyers for every month of delay until the handover. And lastly, buyers now have access to all the project documentations through the RERA website. This is how RERA has been implemented very well in states like Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. But the problem is that even today, it has not been implemented all across the country. So now, in the next 5 years, the BJP aims to implement RERA all across the country.
That is something that is incredibly necessary. That's good. If you're looking to buy a house or to buy a property or do something, that's great. I mean, if you're one of those people who are looking to make a quick buck from taking the money given to you, then not so much. But for the average person, it's fantastic news.
The second promise that they have is about one nation, one election. And again, we've made a detailed video.
Oh, I've heard of this. I've heard of this.
This concept. So you can find it in the description. The third policy promise that we found very revolutionary is something called Uniform Civil Code.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट डंडा मारती है, कह रही है कॉमन सिविल कोड लाओ।
सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड बनाना, तो सरकार को यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड बनाना चाहिए।
यूसीसी लोकभोग्य भाषा में कॉमन सिविल कोड, ये आज से हमारा मुद्दा नहीं है, 1950 से हमारा मुद्दा है।
Today, civil laws such as marriage, divorce, succession are all different for different religions. For example, in Muslim, we have Sunni and Shia law. So if you're a Muslim woman, then you're entitled to only half the inheritance that the men receive. Similarly, if you're a widowed Christian woman, then under the Indian Succession Act, you inherit only 1/3 of the property. But at the same time, the sons and daughters share their parents' property rights equally. And in Parsi law, it's even more different. Both Parsi women marrying outside their community and non-Parsi women marrying into the Parsi community face severe inheritance restrictions. So the BJP wants to solve all these problems with Uniform Civil Code by providing a single, secular and legal framework that ensures equality for genders across religion, eliminates gender-based bias in inheritance, and it aims to provide equal status to all citizens by ensuring that everybody is governed by the same set of civil laws irrespective of their religion, caste or community.
Coming from the US, I think this is a fantastic idea. This is what we have.
The fourth policy is something called National Litigation Policy. In simple words, India today faces three major problems in its legal system. Firstly, we have very less judges than required.
Thinking about taking court action in India? Action may not be the word. 50 million cases are stagnant across the justice system. Average case in the Supreme Court can take 13.5 years to make it all the way through.
If you look at this chart, India only has 21 judges per million citizens.
What? That is such a low amount. What the heck? Listen, if you want a job in India, go and be a judge. Holy heck, they need them.
Secondly, we have an enormous number of cases pending in our courts, and you would be shocked to know that as of 2023, we have 5.8 million cases pending.
Whoa.
And if we keep solving these
God.
cases at our current pace of 1.8 million, even if no new cases, I repeat, even if no new cases are filed after today, it will still take us another 3 years to resolve all these cases. And lastly, most of these cases are easily resolvable without even going to the court. So the precious hours of the courts are being utilized for trivial cases instead of using them for important cases. So it is a very good thing that most of these cases are easily solvable, and it is a bad thing that they are now utilizing the court's time. This is very surprising, right? Well, guess what? A big chunk of this backlog comes from the government itself, and you would be shocked to know that government litigation cases, as in cases involving the central government, state government or public sector undertakings, they nearly make up 50%, I repeat 50%
Wow.
of all pending cases. And some of these cases are so trivial that an officer is spending 7 lakh rupees of tax-based money on a case where he wants to deny someone benefits worth 700 rupees. So 7 lakh rupees are being spent to save 700 rupees. And eventually, it also ends up occupying the court's time. This is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, how does the national litigation policy aim to solve this problem? Well, firstly,
Hire
the
more
BJP
lawyers,
intends to eliminate the
judges.
case filing at the get-go itself. A simple example could be, if you have a discrepancy worth 10,000 rupees or less in tax filing, you could just pay a fine and move on, and your case will not go ahead at
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
all. Secondly, under the national litigation policy, the BJP aims to set up alternate resolution processes to resolve disputes outside the court. For example, if two businesses have a contract dispute over the delivery of goods worth 1 lakh rupees, then instead of taking the dispute to the court, they engage in mediation where a neutral third party can help them with a compromise. So they could agree that if the goods are delivered with a slight delay, then the buyer will receive a discount. Now, it's not like the system doesn't exist. It's just that the government now wants to scale this resolution process across government departments so that we can reduce the number of cases filed.
I think that would be a good idea.
The national litigation policy also wants coordination between government agencies to avoid legal positions and unnecessary litigations. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say the Department of Fisheries and the Ministry of Infrastructure both have interests in a coastal area. So while the Department of Fisheries is concerned with protecting marine life, the Ministry of Infrastructure would want to develop a port that could potentially harm the aquatic ecosystem. Now typically, if these departments do not work together with each other, then the Department of Fisheries could oppose the project and it could lead to a legal action against the Ministry of Infrastructure for environmental violations. So eventually, in the court battle, the development takes a backseat and the money and time is wasted in legal procedures. But here's where the National Litigation Policy wants to solve this problem. And how do they want to do that? They want the Department of Fisheries and the Ministry of Infrastructure both to sit down together and talk to each other in such a way that they understand each other's boundaries.
This is like common sense. What?
They understand each other's constraint, and then the Ministry of Infrastructure can go ahead with the project. So this way, no cases will be filed, both parties can fulfill their purposes, and development can happen quickly. This is how the National Litigation Policy aims to solve a major problem in the legal system of India. And you know what? The BJP has been trying for a decade to bring the national litigation policy. But this time, they put it in writing in their manifesto itself. And that is what gives me a little bit more confidence that the national litigation policy will be executed. So in summary, the 5 most important policy promises according to us from the BJP manifesto are the Uniform Civil Code, the scaling up of RERA, One Nation, One Election, and National Litigation Policy. Now, having said all of this, there is a lot more to the manifesto, which is why I will attach the PDF of the manifesto in the description so that you can read everything and understand
I'll have to take a look at it.
But due to limitation of time, these are the most important aspects of the manifesto that we found worthy to throw light on. Now, some people might say, bro, you just presented the BJP manifesto. You are extremely biased. You should also present the Congress manifesto. So guys, I got to tell you that it takes us a lot of time to make this type of content, and if I can understand and present the Congress manifesto in the next 10 days, I definitely will. But having said that, even if we don't make a video on it, you can go and read the Congress manifesto by yourself and you can understand it better. The PDF is in the description. And if you find this case study useful, please share it with as many people as possible so that we can educate the citizens of our country about the promises of our politicians, the vision of the parties that they're voting for, so that they can have both a crystal clear understanding of what the politicians are bringing to the table, and they also have a checklist to keep a check on the politicians that they are voting for. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button in order to make YouTube happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there we are, everybody. Another Think School video. Yeah, okay, cool. I feel like I got a little bit more of an understanding of what's going on, what the plans are. I do desperately want to read the manifesto myself. I don't think I'll read that on video because I'd imagine it's actually fairly long. He actually linked the BJP and the Congress manifesto. I mean, I'm just assuming it's in English. There's like something I could read in English, right? Maybe, possibly. 76 pages. Young citizens. Yeah, so it's. Yeah, I could read this, so I definitely will. Oh, okay. I was like, why is it blank? I just wasn't given enough time to load. Interesting. Okay, well, what I do want to read right now for the video are the comments. So if you want to read the BJP manifesto, go ahead and click there. If you want to read the Congress manifesto, go ahead and click there. But the comments come first. No vote for minority appeasement using taxpayers' money. Our tax money needs to go to every single person who deserves it, not on the basis of religion. Our vote for Viksit Bharat. Okay. Not sure exactly what they mean there, but I'm sure one of you will let me know. Maturity is when you realize that you need to vote for the party that China and Pakistan is desperate to remove. Also comment anywhere that you voted for development, and immediately shitheads come to troll you saying that you are whatever that is. I mean, agar development listen, I can't. Oh my god. Okay, I realize I can't read that. I'm so sorry. More airports means profits to cement industry, IT sector, tourism industry, foreign investment through tourism in India, real estate, hotel, cab services, steel industry. Yeah, I mean, airports are like the lifeblood, right, of the heart and the soul of getting people from outside of the country into the country. So if you want more tourism, if you want more product coming in, there you go, right? Modi means progress, growth, ultra high speed of civilization, social uplifting of economic backwards. Modi means industry. Modi means business growth. We all support him. If BJP equals bad, then Congress equals worst. Wow, okay. Only option is to choose the least bad party, which is BJP. Let's go scroll down a little bit. Wonderful analysis, unbiased. All opposition parties manifesto. Totally against security safety for Hindustan plus economy. I'm not voting for freebies or minority appeasement. I'm voting for the future of Bharats. Okay, there you go. Nice joke. BJP likes to give freebies. What about Manipur and Ladakh? You forgot to mention Sandakali. I don't know what that means. We're gonna keep going. Think School and Nitish Rajput's both YouTube channels are the best. What is wait? What is this YouTube channel? All right, hold on. Oh, him. Okay. Yeah, I've had people recommend him. I have not watched any of his videos yet. I might have to. If there's any of these videos you want me to watch, let me know. Reality of Khalistan, biggest fraud. His latest video is most shocking scandal. Oh, is this the guy that was this video? This is the guy that was like taking photos and of women, like explicit photos of women and men, and doing bad things to them and to like bribe them and blackmail them. Is that who this guy is? This one, I think so. Don't hold on. Yeah. Over 2,900 videos. Crazy, dude. Absolutely wild. Okay, well, I might watch some of his videos. Let me know if you want me to watch any of them, anyone in particular, and we can take a look at them. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get back to the comments here. Let's sort by new. Let's see what some of the newer comments say. BJP dog, and then a bunch of them like vomiting emojis. Okay. So it means in India and Hindu. Oh my god. What? I can't read that. Can you make video on Kashmir Princess incident 1955? What happened to the Kashmir Kashmir Princess incident in 1955? Shameless? What's shameless? Wait. Whoa, hold on. How did we get back to this video? What? I think YouTube's messing up, man. How did it get back to that video? What? You saw that, right? It went. Wait. What? What? Oh my god, what's going on? Okay, I think we are on. We're back on the comments for this video. I'm WhatsApp University graduate and I will vote for Modi. WhatsApp University graduate. What? Bro, lost my respect. Should have an analytical and practical approach, not reading and explaining what they promise. One more good media channel unsubscribed. Can you make the video of how many things they achieved from the last manifesto? Such a joke. Oh, okay. But who is taking control of these companies? Everyone knows Abd, whose benefit public John told monopoly everywhere. What?
Was only so.
He's talking about the cement companies. I don't know. Get lost. What? PM Awas Yona is not something new. It was earlier known as Indra Awas Yogan. BJP have just changed the name. Okay. Comment section is full of clowns. What about the analysis of the Congress Manifesto? If you'd waited to the end of the video, he said that he would try to do it within 10 days of this video. So, why highway means consumption of cement. Highways usually rely on asphalt. True, but there's also a base layer underneath and all sorts of stuff. Just a doubt. I will glad if you can clarify it. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into highways. There's a lot. You gotta there's trust me. There's so much you gotta build up the ground and everything. There's a lot you have to do. Bro says indirectly that Congress manifesto is shit. He did not say that. He did not. He just said he didn't get to it. Every year you repeat the same dialogue over and over again. Don't do any work. Dang. Don't vote Modi. Don't vote BJP. Vote for Akhan Barath. Okay. BJP is better than Congress. Great intro edit. BJP means violence and division among people. He's also confident that Modi 3.0 is coming. Unsubscribing, understanding your agenda inside. Change your name to BJP school. These people are jumping way too quick, man. He even said at the end he even said at the end that he would try to get and cover the Congress manifesto as well. But that's the internet, right? If you want to watch this video, the link to his video will be in the description below. And if you want to watch more of my reactions, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. And I will catch you on the next one, okay? Take care. Goodbye.